your host, Courtney Webb, and this is Courtside. It's a digital series about QVC entrepreneurs where we go side by side with some of our entrepreneurs in the entrepreneurship game. And today we have Miss Angel Cornelius. She is the founder of Maison 276. Welcome on in.
Hi, Courtney. Great seeing you again.
You too. Now, you came and brought us a wonderful set of products, actually, that we now have on QVC.com, but you came in through the Big Find, which is that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that we offered here at QVC. Tell me about your journey before the Big Find came about. Like, how did this Maison 276 come to fruition?
Well, first you should know I never intended to start a company. Like, that was never, I just had a personal pain point that I was trying to solve. And I realized other people had these pain points as well. So what you should know is that our skin and our hair are the same. And as we mature, they change. And so when I turned 50, I just realized a lot of things that I used to use weren't working anymore. And then I also realized how much my skin and my hair were changing. And so I decided to detox my beauty regimen. And a lot of the products that I was buying, I just didn't like them. They weren't working for me, or I kept having to add things to them to get okay results, not really great. And so I just had this idea to start creating my own beauty products. And it really started with my hair. And so I realized the same products are the raw ingredients that I had purchased, because I had my problems, and then I researched plant-based ingredients that would solve those problems. And so I had shea butter and coconut and jojoba and sweet almond oil, just to name a few. And those are products that are still very prevalent in our product catalog right now. And so what I realized was that all these raw ingredients that I had making products for my hair, I could also make skincare products. And so I started experimenting with body butters, and then I started making soaps, and I was just like all over the place.
Just excited.
Yes, I was. And so, you have so much. There's only so much you can use as a person. And so I would share it with friends and family. And so one Saturday morning, I was at a leadership conference at church, and I was sitting in the back with some of my girlfriends who were also church leaders. And I had just gone to the restroom, and I came back and I took out this little teeny Tupperware condiment container, teeny tiny, if you put like mustard in it or whatever. And I just took it out. I, put some cream on my hand, and I threw it back in my purse. And so my friend next to me was like, "What is that?" I was like, "Oh, it's just some stuff I made." And she's like, "Well, give it to me. I want to use it." So she took it and she passed it all the way down. And now the whole back of the church smells like lavender. And
That's a true friend.
Yes. So it's like those four friends, Tiffany, Wanda, Vanna, and Tony. Those are the four people sitting next to me. And so then she goes, "Well, give me some of that." I was like, "Well, I just make it for myself. I don't sell it." And she's like, "Well, sell it to me." I said, "I don't have anything to put it in." And she said, "Well, just put it in that." And I said, "Honey, if I sell something to you, it will not be in a Tupperware container." And so that is truly the story of my first sale and my first customer.
Oh, that is amazing. And is it right that you were in church in Sugar Land, Texas?
Yes, yes.
So I'm from Houston, Texas. And so when I saw that, I thought, yes!
Small world.
Such a small world. And now you're here at QVC. You came to Pennsylvania. You went through the Big Find, but your first product you created was the body butter, which we do offer on QVC.com. And if someone is watching, I will tell you the item number for that is A445899 for the body butter. Yes. But then you took it a step further. You said, "I have a trio I want to share." You brought number 8. So tell me about those other products and why they're so unique, and the efficacy of them is such a good high quality.
Right. I wish the story was like you just said, but it totally wasn't. So I'll back up a little bit. This body butter that I had created, that I was selling on Etsy, like most homemade beauty brands start out, selling it to family and friends. And it started gaining a little bit traction. And then one of my son's friends had been hired by Essence. She used to work at Birchbox, and they were creating their own Essence Beauty box at the time. And so she had been using the body butters, and she loved them. She kept saying, Keith, your mom's stuff is really good. And so she asked me if I wanted to participate in the beauty box. And I was like, yeah, sure. What does that mean? Now, mind you, I still have a very demanding full-time job at Texas Children's Hospital. And I'm sitting in my office, and she said, well, you know, we're going to need 14,000 units. I was like, oh my God. And I just said, yes.
Of course.
Yes. And I was like, I have to figure out how to make this happen. And 9 months later, we found a manufacturer, and we were able to produce the pomegranate kiss body butter that I created in my kitchen. And that's really, as my son likes to say, when we became a real company. And so I started going to trade shows, and women kept asking me about my hair. Like, they love the body butter, but they kept asking about my hair. And what you should know is that I began graying very early. Like, I had silver strands before I got to high school. And so I've really grown up with this hair, and I understand the challenges of what it means to have colorless hair. It gets dull, it gets dingy, and it's drier and more coarse than hair that has melanin, which is what gives our hair color. And so I had already figured out a way to take care of my hair, but I didn't realize so many other women had the same problem. Mm-hmm. And so after so many women, and there were women of all ethnicities, all hair textures and types, asking me the same question, I realized, like, wait, I have to do a hair care product. And that is how I created the 3-step system. It's based on how I take care of the unique challenges of what it means to have silver, white, and even blonde hair.
Oh, perfect. And so that's also available now at QVC. And I'll give you the item number for that 3-step system, which is, let me just find it. I have it on my card somewhere. That question actually came up a little bit further on, I guess.
Right.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so you have it there, that A377943, and that's the step system, the 3 trio. Now, you mentioned your son just a second ago. Is he also the co-founder with you?
So yes, that also wasn't exactly planned, but as fate would have it, I feel extremely blessed to be working with him, and he has an amazing skill set in finance. When I started selling the products, he was actually starting the MBA program at Wharton. And so he would call and ask questions like, you know, Mom, what are you doing? Like, are you selling stuff? And how do you know how much to charge? And let me see what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so he kind of looked, yes. And he kind of looked from afar until the Essence project came up. And then he said, okay, now we've got a real company now. Mm-hmm. And so since then, he has really been working side by side with me. And I can't even tell you how much I depend on him for his finance expertise and just how he is helping us scale this company in a way that will hopefully have us around for a very long time in a company that my grandchildren will run, I hope, one day.
Oh, I love hearing that. Well, now that you're part of the QVC family, I think that actually is coming to fruition, because obviously we are servicing millions of people in so many homes. They allow us in. We tell them great stories and the history behind brands such as yourself, Maison 276. But I have to ask, you came in through the big find. Yes. What was it like getting ready for that once-in-a-lifetime entrepreneurial game show almost of coming into the QVC fam?
I will tell you, it was daunting. Yeah. You know, it was daunting, but I will say that the QVC family and the entire network is built for your success. Like, I mean, from the technical side to the quality assurance side, to the host, the training, it is such a phenomenal organization. And I feel so blessed, one, to just be able to given the opportunity to tell my story and to share the uniqueness of this hair care system that we've created and why it's so different than everything else on the market, because we did realize that there was a white space. And so I'm just so grateful for the opportunity that they have given me. And, you know, we had a couple of other retail partners before. and these were, companies that people had actually heard of. And so I really, initially, I'll be honest with you, I came into it feeling like, okay, I've probably checked all the boxes. So, let's go and do this thing. And I tell you, to become a part of the QVC family was so much more difficult than I expected, but I am so much better for it, and our company is so much stronger for it. And like I said, QVC is built for the entrepreneur's success, and so I am just so grateful for the opportunity.
Oh, we're so happy that you were able to come in, and you came in guns a-blazing. I remember I saw you in training and you were just going through your product, and I was like, okay, she's ready. How was it your first time on air?
Well, several months earlier, before we applied for the big find, I actually had it was my first time at QVC for sure, in anything that platform, anything that big.
Right.
But we had the opportunity to go to London. This small network, home shopping network, found us. We don't know how, but they found us, and they said, "Do you want to come over?" And we're like, "Yeah." Yes, we do.
Sure.
And so that was a great learning opportunity for me to do live TV. I had a great host, but basically I showed up, maybe about an hour before the show, and I was on air. So,
wow.
So it doesn't work like that at QVC. And so that's why I'm so grateful for all of the preparation and the training. But it was a great starting point for me. I'll say that. But to other entrepreneurs who want to be on QVC, I would say don't let that discourage you, because they will get you ready.
Yes, we do. Because really, like you said, it is a family. And once you become a part of the family, we want your success. We want you to put your best foot forward. And also, I know as my job as a host, I want to support you. I want to be able to have you tell your story and let nothing come in between the person who possibly is going to purchase and your product. So it's really a fun experience to actually teach and learn all together at the Q.
Yes.
So I read something that you had a big chop, and it was like your hair, you decided to chop it. Tell me the story. What was the story behind the big chop?
Right. So I had two big chops. So in my mid-30s, like I said, I told you I'd grown up with this hair. And in my mid-30s, after my daughter was born, a couple of things happened, and I thought, I want to have this baby. And I have all this gray hair, and I colored my hair, and I immediately hated it as soon as I did it. And so I lived with it for a few years, and then I did a big chop. I was like, I have silver hair. That's who I am, and I'm rolling with it. And so that was my first big chop. But then when I told you I was detoxing my beauty regimen, when I turned 50, I decided to stop chemically relaxing my hair.
Oh, I did that too.
Yes. And so at first I was trying the whole transition thing, the relaxed hair and the new growth. And it's frankly horrible.
It's horrible.
It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And so one night, my husband and I were getting ready to go to a black tie event, and I was just so frustrated with my hair. 2 hours before that event, I cut all the relaxed hair off. Woo. And I had this little curly, teeny weeny afro. And I loved it immediately. And I was so angry that I hadn't done it sooner. And so I just big chopped all that relaxed hair off. And here I am. I think this is 8 years later. And I cut my hair a lot. So it would probably be a lot longer if I didn't continue to cut it. Mm-hmm. So that was my first detoxifying moment of my beauty product regimens. And what I learned, Courtney, was once I had this natural hair, I had to figure out what it was. It's completely different than you don't know what you have when it's chemically altered. You really don't know what you're working with. And so I had to learn how to take care of my hair. And that's what prompted me to make my own hair care products, because I had been using things that had sulfates and phosphates. And because I'm a silver hair, silverista, I was also using these products that had these purple dyes. And so having white hair and constantly adding color to it, you eventually take on those purple hues and you get what I call old lady blue hair. And that was the genesis of the 3-step system, to create a clean system, no phosphates, no sulfates, which is why we have the QVC Clean Beauty Seal, which I'm so proud of, but also to create a product for us that is void of the purple dye. So you don't have to worry about adding unwanted color to your hair, whether you're silver, white, salt and pepper, and even blondes, because blondes are what I like to say my hair sisters, because we have a lot of the same hair concerns. And so there's a wide range of consumers that can use our product, and regardless of your hair texture, it doesn't matter. I'm a curly girl, but we have lots of customers who have straight hair, lots of customers who have blonde hair. You can even read some of their awesome reviews on the QVC website. Yeah. So my goal was really to create a very inclusive product brand that was not targeted to any particular texture, but that was just really solving a problem that many of us have.
Well, and I appreciate that you were listening to your customers, because not only were you one and created it from it, but also you started to realize that like everyone else needs something similar. So you started to work with that. And that's what a great entrepreneur is. And so the fact that you did says a lot. And then you've extended the line to so many other things. So I think we're one, very proud of you. And two, the fact that you have the clean seal from QVC is a big deal. That means no sulfates, parabens, also cruelty free, and even down to this percentage of alcohol, like literally next to zero. So the fact that you have that says a lot, and it screams volumes to a lot of the efficacy and work that goes into creating a clean beauty product.
Thank you.
So thank you for bringing that. Oh, so I have to ask, Maison 276, where does the name come from?
So I'm originally from New Orleans. I'm a NOLA girl. And I always I really attribute like the fact that I have this gift for mixing ingredients and products and creating fragrances. I really think I draw on growing up in New Orleans. Two things: I grew up on the Gulf Coast, so things are always blooming. So there's always something that's fragrant, even in the winter. And I'm the oldest of three. And as the oldest of three, and my mother worked, I had to cook. And I had to cook a lot. And I started cooking at a very young age. And if you know anything about New Orleans food, it's very complex, lots of different ingredients, lots of layers. And I just think that comfort level of being someone who can cook very complicated dishes, I think that's why mixing ingredients and fragrances, I think that's why that was so easy for me, because I don't have a background in chemical engineering. I just wanted clean products. Here's the thing I believe very strongly about, Courtney. I don't think you should have to be a chemist to understand the products that you use on your hair, products you use on your skin, and the food that you eat. Like, you should be able to pick up a label and discern what's in it. Even if you have an allergy, you could oh, I'm allergic to sweet almond oil. Okay, great. It's right there on the label. And so I think because I don't have that chemical engineering background, I just wanted to create something that not only was effective and useful, but I want people to be able to understand the ingredients and feel comfortable that they're using something that's healthy.
Well, and that also speaks to educating, because at the end of the day, it's hard to teach someone something about a word that they can't understand or possibly read. When you give us things that we actually could read and we have an idea about or we've seen before, I mean, that's when you can actually decide, is this for me? Do I want to try it? And you probably have heard it before. So I think that makes complete sense. And so coming from New Orleans, Maison, are you coming from the French and all of that as well?
Right. And so Maison is, I'm sorry, I got distracted talking about cooking.
That's what this is all about.
New Orleans. Food distracts us. Yes. So Maison is French for house or home, and 276 is the address of the house I grew up in.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. So one of my great joys as an entrepreneur was walking my mother into a store in New Orleans, a Sally Beauty, that was in the uptown area where we I grew up, and walking her into the store and letting her see that on the shelf. That's actually like one of the highlights of my entrepreneurial journey.
Oh, and what was her reaction when she
Oh,
walked
she was
in?
stunned. It's on my Facebook page from a few years ago because she didn't know. I just said, "Oh, I got to run into the store and get something."
Oh, you surprised her?
And my son was with me. Now, of course, she knew I had a company and all, but she didn't know that that was my first retail placement. And so just to be able to share that with her and just everyone in my family, 276 Senate Drive, that was the house address. And so to be able to have that really be a tribute to my mother, who just like taught me so much. The older you get, the more you appreciate the lessons that your parents teach you. And even now, I'm just still learning so much from her. So I really feel honored to have been able to do that and to be able to share the journey with her as well.
It sounds like you have a great network around you and you have that support. And now, given the timing, I mean, we are restricted with what we're able to do and go and see and how we connect. How are you as an entrepreneur navigating this time, being creative and looking forward, but also how are you staying energized? I mean, because it sounds like you are very much someone who likes to be connected and surrounded. And we're kind of not able to do that right now. So tell me a little bit about how you're looking forward.
Well, I'll tell you, obviously we're all adjusting to this new normal and we're not sure how long we're going to be in this state. But I will say that I feel very fortunate that despite a lot of the uncertainty that is surrounding us right now, we are still finding a way to be successful and to thrive as a business. And so I feel very fortunate. One of the ways that people are really kind of dealing with the stress is self-care. And so, a lot of consumers are obviously doing a lot more shopping online and they're looking for new and innovative brands. And I feel very, very fortunate to say that Maison 276 offers self-care products for all women and that, we can provide you with clean, effective self-care products at a very accessible price point. And so we have actually just continue to grow and thrive in this time.
Oh, that's so good. I mean, I think one of the key things I've been hearing from a lot of entrepreneurs, including yourself, is that you're really using this time to nurture your brand, nurture the creativity that can come from it, and then whenever the time comes, be able to move forward when the opportunity presents itself. And it seems like you've been doing that all the way from your body butter to it being passed around at church to being in the Essence box and then now at QVC. You've had an incredible journey. So it's so fun to hear about it. Now, how are we able to follow you and stay up to date with Maison 276? Are you on social? I know we can shop on QVC.com.
Right. So right now, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Maison, and that's spelled Maison, Maison 276. You can also, I love to engage with customers. So you can also hit us up on Instagram or Facebook. If you have some ideas about some ways you'd like to engage, like, would you like me to do a Facebook Live? I really like to give people content. I don't want to throw stuff out there, but, tell me what you'd like. But I love to engage with customers. One of the things we're really looking forward to is obviously returning to the exciting halls of QVC. Yes, it is just an amazing campus. So we're obviously looking forward to that. Since we launched on air, I just want to say how thankful I am. Again, this is a recurring theme, but just a month and a half later, we're now a QVC bestseller because of trio. So thank you so much to those of you who purchased products during the launch and who went and shared your experiences with the trio. Also, since that time, we started with the trio, but as you know now, our entire line is now available on QVC. So you can get our amazing body butters. At this time when we're doing a lot of hand washing and using a lot of alcohol-based sanitizers, you really need a product that's very ultra rich rich and moisturizing. And that's what our body butter is. It's very, very ultra rich. A little goes a long way, but it's very protective and nourishing.
For sure. And then you also have a product, I believe it's called Number 8.
Yes.
Tell me about that product.
So the Number 8 Botaniques is a oil that I created. It's a 100% all natural product. And it's a really lightweight moisturizer. It's perfect for this time of year. And you can use it on your hair. You can use it on your face. I have it on right now under my makeup. It's extremely lightweight.
Oh, did you just like kind of tap this on like a primer almost?
Yes. Super, super lightweight. And like I said, you can use it on your face, on your hair. And it absorbs so quickly. And it doesn't have any artificial fragrance. So the only scent is a teeny bit of lemongrass oil. So if you're looking for something without synthetic fragrance, that's great. And also we mentioned the body butter. Yes. And the body butters are ultra, ultra rich. And they come with this little pink spatula because that's a little indicator of just how much you need. A little goes a long way. But like I said, right now we're using so many alcohol-based sanitizers that you really need something that's really, really moisturizing, right?
Oh, perfect.
So that's what the Number 8 Botaniques is. 8 essential oils, 8 plant-based oils, and the primary key, most powerful ones are our rose hip, seed oil, Moroccan argan, all those things that are really great for your skin and your hair, and they won't weigh it down.
Well, perfect. I mean, you're a great representation. You have great skin and hair. I was like, my gosh, babe. I was talking to my husband. I go, look how beautiful she is. You look fantastic. So if I can look like you with those products, I'm sign me up. I'm ready to go. For sure. So, okay, so you just kind of talked a little bit about how your products became a bestseller here at QVC. What would you tell other entrepreneurs? You kind of gave a little hint about that you would say, go for it, take the step. But what else would you say to entrepreneurs who are thinking, should I do this? You said yourself you were making it for yourself and you were like, I can't sell this. Who am I going to sell this to? Right. And then now look at you. So what would you say to someone who thought, should I try this? Should I move forward with my idea?
I mean, the last thing you ever want is to wish you had done something, right?
Yeah.
And so, I say just do it. You can always come up with reasons why you should not do something.
True.
Of course it's scary. Yes, it's scary. And it is very, very hard. And I'm very honest when I talk to entrepreneurs. And the reason I say that is because just because it's hard doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. And it doesn't mean that you're not supposed to do it. It is just very, very hard. Reid Hoffman, who's the founder of LinkedIn, has this saying about entrepreneurship, and I'm just paraphrasing, but he said it's basically like jumping off a cliff and building the airplane on the way down.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It is difficult, but I encourage you to, yes, just do it. And of course, you're going to make mistakes. And of course, you're going to have to change things. And of course, you're going to have to reset and start something all over again. That's part of the entrepreneurial journey. And also find you a cohort of other entrepreneurs. It can sometimes be a very lonely journey because you're so focused. And it's like you're eating and sleeping this project. And sometimes you think, like, am I the only one going through this? And as you create a community around you of entrepreneurs, and then you'll realize, oh, this is just kind of the way it is, and even it could be someone in a completely different field. I have many entrepreneur friends, and they're not in the beauty industry. Some of them have food products. Some of them have fashion lines. But we just share war stories, and we encourage each other. And it just helps you understand that, oh, okay, this is just part of the journey. This is the way it is. And so, I have entrepreneurs who reach out to me all the time, and, I respond to emails. It might not be the same day, but I really do, because I know how important encouragement. And so, go for it. just do it. I will say, I worked my full-time job at Texas Children's for 3.5 years before I took the leap of faith to run my company full time. And so that's another thing people should know. Oftentimes you're working your day job while you're building this company, and that's normal too. So, just go for it. And I have something right here. Yeah. I'm in the dining room because my office is, well, it's not quite TV ready, but and so I was contemplating, like, should I bring this? Should I not? So
you should. What is it?
Yes, I'm getting ready to show you right now what it is.
Perfect. Because I'm already loving everything that you're saying about this, because even it doesn't, oh my gosh, it's the KitchenAid mixer.
This is it. Okay. So if I can go from this in my kitchen, it's so heavy, like I can't even pick it up.
I know, it's basically a kettlebell.
It's so heavy. But I mean, if I can go from that, and I keep this in my office, I look at it every day. And so when I'm having a rough day or things are just not going the way, I just look down at that KitchenAid blender. And I was like, if that KitchenAid blender can take me to QVC, you can figure out whatever problem you have, and you can get through this.
I adore that one. You just lifted that and brought it to our attention, because that says so much. Everything you were saying, I'm just like, yes, one, to get reward, you have to put in effort. And you definitely have showed us that. Two, this idea of the mixer, you putting in all of your effort. I mean, really mixing it together, and it brought you to QVC. I mean, there's so much I feel like you could pull from this, and it's just really inspiring. And the fact that you keep it in your office is,
yes,
I think it's the best thing.
I don't use it for food, in case anybody's wondering. I have another one in the kitchen for food.
Oh my gosh, that is so great. So do you still to this day, just sometimes are you sitting there going, I wonder if I could mix this and this together, and if it would do something else? Do you kind of just like go into these daydreams of creation?
No, I still create. I still have stuff that I have not brought to market. I have things that when I was making things by hand, I had a lot more SKUs. And my manufacturer gave me some great advice. He's like, you're going to need to cut the number of SKUs down because it's going to get overwhelming. And then as you grow, you bring on new SKUs. And that's what we've done. And so, yes, I have things that I created in the kitchen that some of my original customers are like, where is the such and such? It's like, it's coming. It's coming back. It's coming back. But yeah, I do still do that. That's probably one of the things I miss, the time to just like get in there and just play. But yeah, there are things I still in this little, there's stuff.
Oh, this has been so much fun to hear and talk about. Is there anything else that you would want to share with those who are watching? I mean, I feel like whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're someone at home just trying to figure out, how do I do all of this? What should I do next? I think that your story applies to so many different people. Is there anything else that you want to share about your background or the brand, or maybe things you're looking forward to before we sign off?
Well, I would like to say that today is my co-founder's birthday.
Your son's birthday?
Today is my son's birthday.
What's his name?
Keith.
Keith, happy birthday to you from QVC.
Yes. So that picture behind me, I kind of intentionally, I have a picture like that of a little girl also, one for him, one for my daughter. And so since it was his birthday, I decided to sit in front of that picture. So
I love this. This is so much fun. And the fact that you're able to include your family, and I can tell it brings you so much joy to have them a part of your business. Yeah,
my husband, like almost every picture that you will see of me, my husband has taken that picture.
He's a good photographer.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Well, he might need to come take my picture. That would be nice.
Right. Well, he's always taking pictures and stuff. He'd been doing that since we were in college. And so I needed these pictures taken. So yeah, we just made it happen.
So have you guys known each other since college?
Yes, we're college sweethearts. Freshman year, we started dating freshman year. I've known it my whole life. Yes.
That is incredible. And you guys are it sounds like you are very happily married and have a beautiful family.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. I could not have dreamt of this years ago, but I'm so happy to be able to share this journey with them. And, my daughter, I don't want to leave her out. She's got a job too. Everybody works this gig.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
everyone's got all the cooks in the kitchen then for you.
Well, we all have different skill sets, and that's what's so great. Like, so we don't really step on each other's toes. And so that's what's really, just been great between the four of us. It just works. So I truly, truly am very grateful. There's so many ways they could be spending their time instead of working for mom's company. So.
But okay, so one last question. I get so many questions just talking. But one last question before we go. How do you balance the family and the business? Because your whole family is involved. How do you sit down at that dinner table and say, okay, let's set this aside. Let's talk about life outside of Maison 276.
Right. I probably, well, first of all, they're adults. And so Keith and I, my husband Keith and I, we're empty nesters. And so both of the kids, actually, they live in New York. And so I spend a lot of time in New York, well, before the shutdown. But we kind of have to carve out, okay, we're not working today. Because otherwise we would be calling each other constantly, texting constantly, emailing, and sometimes we do have to just step back and say, okay, today we're not going to work. Yep. Because when you're an entrepreneur and you work from home, like I can work all the time. And so I've had to, in terms of, I'm going to go back to a recommendation. When you become an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to set boundaries for yourself, because I get up at the same time and I'm in my office just like I was when I had a corporate job. And so I try to keep a schedule, right? Okay, so I work out at this time and we're eating dinner at that time. And so I've had to be very disciplined, because otherwise I would just work until I just
overload.
Right. And so I have to pull back sometimes. And sometimes I'll be honest, sometimes the family has to tell me, okay, Mom, we're not working today.
Yeah, but that's what they're there for. You need each other for the support system right now, right?
Right.
Because we're all working from home. I mean, I feel like everyone feels like an entrepreneur right now.
Right. So I don't know if I answered that question, but the balance you have to work on it.
It's communicating for sure. Like, this is what we're doing.
Right.
Oh, well, Angel, thank you so much for carving out time for us. We appreciate it. And we will shop on QVC.com for your products, Maison 276. And we look forward to having you back at the Q.
Thank you so much. And I just want to encourage everyone who has I just want to thank everyone, first of all. The QVC community and the customers have been so incredibly gracious to our brand. You should know, in the last 4 months of this year, we already surpassed all of our sales for 2019. So I am just so incredibly grateful. And I invite you, if you loved our product, to go to the Q and share your experience with the rest of the QVC family. But I just could not leave without saying how much I just appreciate you guys so much, from me and my entire family.
Oh, thank you. I know that we all appreciate it too. And I'm sure those who have tried the product are just so grateful. And to hear your story even further, they're probably like, oh man, I really like her.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Well, stay safe and be healthy and have a good one. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.